Andretti Green Racing has struggled to be competitive in the early part of the season, but now moving into the second half on pole, Franck Montagny, your third race with your third different co-driver. How important is no Simon, a tremendous stint for you behind the wheel of your Acura after the heartbreak last week. How rewarding is it to come back and lead? Tommy Archer, our pole sitter today, on pole for the second time this season. The first one was at Miller Motorsports Park where he won. Tommy, you set the pole time in your first flying lap. You guys talk about the debris being picked up at this late point in the race. This is a ball of rubber that came out of the GT2 Aston Martin. These are the kinds of things that get caught up. This causes the cars to overheat, the radiators get clogged. No telling what could happen. As the 2008 season gets underway and the new crop of drivers get used to these Star Mazda race cars, Star decided to throw in a little bit of an extra challenge. They're switching from bias ply tires to the radial tires. Gary Rodriguez, series president. 300 man-hours that went into getting the Mazda-powered Lola on track today. John Doonan, after all the time spent at the racetrack, is this team mentally prepared for the race? Well, Greg, Andy Pilgrim is starting third, and he's currently third in the championship, but he is the only driver to finish on the podium in each of the 5 races so far. Coming into today's race, his best finish here at Road America is 7th, but this is his favorite track, and with nearly 200 Remington guests today, the pressure is on. 2 in a row for the number 3 car, but more importantly, this was your last test before going to Lamar. Are you guys pleased with the results as you head in? Porsche is also under a tremendous amount of pressure in GT2. They come into this race with Flying Lizard leading Tafel Racing's Ferrari by only 10 points. It got dirty last weekend at Mosport. A lot of bumping and banking left Dirk Mueller with a penalty and no podium result, giving Flying Lizard the advantage. And Wolf Hensler took it on the GT2 pole today with Tafel Racing starting third. But with GT2 being the slowest of the 4 classes, staying out of trouble with the prototypes today is crucial. Well, down at the Drayson Barwell team, they did determine that there is some tire rubber stuck in the exhaust system, and that's what was actually igniting on the car. So that Jen Magnussen, Johnny O'Connell clinching the GT1 championship, 8th win of the season, but this is your final Petit Le Mans GT1. Is it a little bittersweet? Peter Cunningham is on pole for his 2nd straight race. It had been 2 years before he had a pole prior to Watkins Glen. But Peter, you have more Mid-Ohio experience than anybody starting behind you. How are you going to keep them in your mirrors today? Missed Mosport last week, and they did a tire test for Falcon down at Sebring Raceway. They also thought it'd be a great opportunity to test the car over bumps because this Detroit circuit is such a bumpy surface. Tim thought that they... Well, guys, one driver to keep an eye on is James Safronis. James is currently 5th in the championship, but a water pump failure just before qualifying didn't turn a lap. James has finished in the top 10 in each race so far, so he'll be fighting through the pack today. Very happy Oliver Gavin and Olivier Beretta. You haven't won a race since St. Petersburg. Coming in GM's headquarters, how special is this for you and the team today? Well, I spoke with Dirk Mueller earlier in the weekend, and he said he felt like that penalty was unwarranted. He had been warned, but he felt like it was just good, dirty, but clean racing. And he said if he had the chance to do it this weekend and got into another one of those situations, he would be doing it again.
Jamie?
Well, during their pit stop, everything was perfectly normal during the driver change up until the point in time where they had to close that door. It bounced back open. The crew slammed it shut. As soon as Mika left, they told him over the radio, make sure the door's shut, make sure the door's shut. He cannot get it shut, so it looks like they are going to bring him into pit lane. After taking both driver and manufacturer titles in 2007, Tri-Point Mazda looked to explode in 2008. Instead, the team began to implode with Randy Post walking away in the offseason and champion Jeff Altenberg defecting days before round 2 in Utah. Though not the start to the season they had hoped for, the boys in blue were down, but not out.
And out of the final turn, Saney for the last time after having driven really 20 perfect laps. First win for the young rookie, first win of the season for the defending manufacturers Mazda, first win of the season for the team.
I just got to thank Mazda. I mean, I wouldn't be here without the ladder system. This is a dream come true for me.
Though Saney was the first to be promoted through Mazda's ladder system, the idea of sticking with the make through the ranks is an old one. Touring car veteran Charles Espinlaub was moved from Tyndall Motorsports to replace Randy Post, and Jim Daniels was moved from MX-5 Cup to replace Jeff Altenberg. Ladder system or not, the Tri-Point teammates draw experience from the same background.
You know, I got 2 great teammates again, Jason Saney and Jim Daniels. So kind of they're MX-5 Miata guys. You know, my first race I ever did was in Miata. I kind of did that stuff back in the day.
Basically, I've been in Miata and rotor head
since Mazda Speed started, and I won the championship in '06. Asked Jason's teammate, he got second.
The ladder system wasn't quite in place for '06. Opportunity wasn't there for him, so to be able to have the seat open up and for Mazda to step up and give him that chance is great. Again, it just speaks volumes about Mazda.
Staying within the Mazda family helps drivers by working with familiar faces.
We're with each other all weekend. We share the track. If we share data, share knowledge.
If I'm across the country racing in a different series and I got shock issues, we're emailing the data back and forth and analyzing over cell phones.
You know, we're all trying to share information and just trying to make everybody faster on the team. So, you know, they may, you know, some people say, well, they're just stepping into this, but no, they've got the experience and the skill to do it.
Charles has been helpful because he has data, you know, from racing previous years in touring car series.
I'm going to try to just get as many top 10 finishes as I can and try to get a top 5 and move from there.
It's all good. It's a great rapport, and you know, what can I say? It's zoom.